Howdy everyone, Tasty here, and thank you for tuning in for another episode of Random Gaming News, where today we're going to be looking at some upcoming games of the week, plus my game to look forward to of the week, and what happened at PDXCon, as well as so much more. And I just want to take a second and thank everybody that actually showed up for the live stream to watch it live and watched it after the fact, because I really do like that this channel is growing and I want to keep it growing. So why don't you share this video so we can hit 200 subscribers and get another live stream going. And while you're at it, look at the smaller YouTube channel that I put down right underneath the Discord server link that I'm a part of. Now, if you do like this video, hit the like button. It does help out a lot, as well as sharing the video like I already mentioned. Make sure you hit the subscribe icon with the bell turned on so you can be notified of when I do my next video. But let's go ahead and start the show. First of the upcoming games is Trails of Cold Steel 3, which looks like, at least to me, a game kind of in the same realm as Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now keep in mind, games are made years in advance, so this isn't something that I'm saying that they're ripping them off by any means, but it does tickle that fancy when I did play Fire Emblem Three Houses, the same kind of feel that that gave me. So if it is something that you do like Fire Emblem Three Houses on your Nintendo Switch, and you were looking for something like that on your PS4, then pick up Trails of Cold Steel 3 on October 22nd. WWE 2K20 is coming out for Xbox, PS4, and PC, and I used to actually be a huge wrestling fan back in the day when I was a kid. I played WCW and WWF. That's right, I go that far back with wrestling. WWF, look it up, why the heck they changed their name. Anyway, back to the game at point. So WWE 2K20 actually seems to bring a good story where you can make your character and play it through the campaign mode, and who doesn't like that if you're a wrestling fan? Not only that, where else can you beat down on your friends in the table ladder chair match? So pick up WWE 2K20 on October 22nd, brother. Now with this next game, I never got a chance to actually play it when it originally came out, and most likely won't get a chance to play it this time as I don't own a PS4, and that's right, I'm talking about Medieval. This game does look like something that would be quite enjoyable for me, as it has a little bit of quirky humor and looks sweet on the gameplay. But if you're interested in this series, you don't have to wait too much longer, as it's coming out on October 25th. Coming to Xbox, PS4, and PC is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and I'm actually not a big fan of this series, and with what Blizzard did recently to the Hearthstone's Grandmaster Blitzchung, I actually won't be playing any Activision Blizzard games for some time. But if you are interested in this FPS shooter, Call of Duty Modern Warfare comes out on October 25th. Now we made it all the way to the game to look forward to this week, and when I saw this game first at E3 last year, it gave me goosebumps and tingles all over. It's just one of those things when you see it and you get super excited, you're like, I just need that right now in my life. And that's right, I'm talking about Outer Worlds by the critically acclaimed Obsidian. And if you don't know who Obsidian is, let me give you a little bit of what they've done. They've done things like Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, which is considered one of the best KOTOR games. I wish they'd be able to put out another one, but that's another story. Fallout New Vegas is another one that they've made, which in my opinion is actually a lot better than Fallout 3. They've also put out games like Pillars of Eternity 1 and Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire or Dragfire. I always mess up that last name, but anyway, it's an amazing turn-based RPG strategy games. So one thing that all of those games actually have in common, besides being RPGs, is that they tell an amazing story, and they're completed all the way through. It's not something that they have to come back through with patches and fix later. So it's actually a rare thing in today's AAA gaming space, and that's what makes me super excited to play the next Obsidian game, is that I know it's going to be a completed, great story that's going to give me a lot to it. And if you guys are interested in picking up Outer Worlds, I suggest you pick it up on October 25th. Couple of quick mentions before we get on to that PDXCon talk here, starting off with some more Blizzard news, where the US government actually weighed in by sending a letter to the CEO of Blizzard. And it's not too often you see Democrats and Republicans come together on something that they both agree on, so you know this has got to be something big. And in that letter, the thing that stuck out the most to me was, because your company is such a pillar of the gaming industry, your disappointing decision may have chilling effects on gamers who seek to use their platform to promote human rights and basic freedoms. And indeed, many gamers around the world have taken notice of your company's actions, understandably calling for boycotts of Activision Blizzard gaming sites. And now you can see that not only do gamers realize that this is something that's damning across the industry, the US government even understands that this is something that you shouldn't back down from. Something like, Apple, they actually stood up to the Chinese government and didn't take down a certain application. the NBA recently, the chairman of the NBA actually said that we don't care what China thinks. We're going to use this platform to promote American needs because we're an American company, and you're not going to use it to cripple us even though you give us a lot of money. And I think that's something that Blizzard should actually take a look at, is what other companies are doing when they're faced with this kind of financial turmoil. Farm 51, a Polish studio, created a post-apocalyptic survival role-playing game made up of 3D scans of Chernobyl called Chernobyl Light. And if you didn't know, Chernobyl's exclusion zone is actually over 1,000 square miles, and they haven't scanned every inch of Chernobyl by any means. I just thought it was cool the lengths that they're actually going to bring a game to the public where they're going out to Chernobyl, doing 3D scans, and adding that into their survival horror game, which Chernobyl is actually a post-apocalyptic type of wasteland as it is on Earth already, so it's a great place to actually make a game based in. Not only that, it is something that if you're not able to go to Chernobyl, maybe you can get a little piece of feel of actually how Chernobyl is. Maybe not so much with their survival role-playing aspect, but with the looks and feel of everything. I just thought it was interesting that you guys should know, and maybe go check it out if you're a PC player. On Steam, it's called Chernobyl Light. Now on to what happened this weekend over at PDXCon, where they had a bunch of game expansions announced, a few games, and a little bit of gaming news. But one of the big announcements that came out of there was that Crusader Kings is actually getting a sequel, originally called Crusader Kings 3. Now the cinematic trailer did look good from what we got of it, but there wasn't any gameplay and we didn't get a release date past 2020. Prison Architect is getting a new expansion in 2020 that looks to be more of the Alcatraz themed prison this time around, which looks really good if you're a fan of the game, but there's no name of the actual expansion and the release date seems to be coming out in sometime in 2020. Stellaris is getting a new species pack of rock-based alien life forms that are coming out on October 24th, and a bigger expansion to come out later this year called Federations, which adds a new diplomacy features and galactic senate, and just many ways to team up with other alliances and governments. And if you haven't checked out Stellaris yet, it's kind of like Risk in space, but with much bigger stakes. So I suggest you go and see what this expansion has to offer when it does come out. Paradox Interactive last year actually put out a game called Surviving Mars. We actually used a cute little robot to build a place for people to come to and, you guessed it, survive on Mars. Now they're actually putting out another game from this series that's actually called Surviving Aftermath. Now if you haven't guessed it by now, you'll be building up a camp to save survivors and keep away other people that might otherwise harm them, which this game is actually a post-apocalyptic look at what Surviving Mars actually was, which is available now for early access on the Epic Game Store and Xbox One via the Game Preview program. Age of Wonder Planetfall is getting its first expansion, and that is called Revelations, where it's going to be adding new factions, 30 new locations, a new mission, and so much more. And it'll be coming out November 19th, so not too much more time before we get to see what it's all about. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 2 got some news, a little bit good but mostly bad, that they're actually delaying the game past their Q1 2020 release date. And it's just something that they actually stated in their blog post here, that there's a responsibility to avoid some of the issues that plagued the first game, which was famously launched too early. Now, I'll leave a link to their blog post so you can read everything that's going on with it, but it is something that I actually find it more of a good thing that a studio is taking their time with something rather than pushing it out like they did last time. They actually want to make a good game and not leave some of that bad taste in customers' mouths. Lastly here, with all the updates from Paradox, and man, they had a lot of expansion news come out. But anyway, back to Battletech. They're getting a new expansion called Heavy Metal, which actually could be adding 8 new mechs with classic designs, a Flashpoint mission, and 8 weapon systems. And if you have the season pass, you actually don't need to buy anything, but if you don't, you can pick it up on November 21st. Well, there's the video. We got some quick mentions in there, some upcoming games, and all that PDXCon talk. Now, I do want to thank everybody that did come out for the live stream. I do greatly appreciate that still, and also thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. And if you did have any thoughts about any of the stuff that we covered in today's video, go ahead and leave those down in the comments down below. Be very interested in see what you guys thought about any of the PDXCon news that came out, or maybe even some of the quick mentions that we talked about. Also, there's a Discord server link down there where Big Daddy Papa, Run That Back Gaming, will actually welcome you with open arms, and Pretty Lady K-Bay will make sure that the server is kept up nicely as she is the owner. So you want to make sure you're checking that out so that way you guys can be a part of a community that is awesome. Also, make sure you're checking out that smaller YouTube channel link that I put down in the description so that way you guys can help out somebody else that may be struggling just as I am. And if you did like the video, please hit the like icon. The best way to help out the channel right now is to share this video and make it out to as many people as we can so we can make this 200 strong and then do another live stream. Make sure also that you're subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you can be notified of when I post my next video. And as always, I have been Tasty. This is Random Gaming News, and have a wonderful gaming night.